It's 2 a.m., you are lying in bed, nothing is wrong, and then out of nowhere it arrives. A memory from 6 years ago, something small, something you said in a hallway or a joke that landed wrong or a name you forgot in front of someone important. Your chest tightens, your face gets warm in the dark. You did not summon this memory, it summoned you. Why does this happen? Why, of all the things your brain could store and retrieve, does it choose this moment, this specific humiliation, and play it back with cinematic detail, usually right when you are trying to sleep? The easy answer is that your brain is broken, or that you are simply an anxious person. But the real answer is far stranger. Your brain is not malfunctioning. It is doing exactly what it evolved to do, and understanding why changes how much power that memory has over you. Start with a simple observation. You do not replay the times things went well. You do not lie awake reliving the compliment someone gave you or the joke that actually landed or the presentation that went smoothly. Those moments simply exist and then fade, but the failures stay sharp. They stay sharp for years, decades even. Why would your mind be built to preserve pain and discard comfort? In the 1920s, a psychologist named Bluma Zeigarnik was sitting in a café in Vienna and noticed something odd. The waiters could remember complex unpaid orders in perfect detail. But the moment the bill was paid, the memory vanished completely. She went on to study this formally, and what she found became known as the Zeigarnik effect. Unfinished tasks stay loud in the mind. Finished tasks go quiet. Your brain, it turns out, is not a diary. It is a to-do list. And an unresolved social failure is the most persistent item on that list, because as far as your nervous system is concerned, it was never resolved. Think about what embarrassment actually is biologically. It is not really about the event itself. It is about your standing in the group. For most of human history, your survival did not depend on your strength or your intelligence alone. It depended on whether the group would still feed you, shelter you, and defend you tomorrow. A misstep in front of others was not a minor social inconvenience. It was a potential signal that your place in the tribe was at risk. Your brain evolved in small groups of maybe 50 to 150 people, a number the anthropologist Dunbar spent decades studying and which now carries his name, the Dunbar number. In a group that size, reputation was not a minor concern. It was survival infrastructure. Everyone knew everyone. A single bad moment could follow you for years because there was no crowd to disappear into. There was only the tribe, watching, remembering, deciding. So your brain built a system to prevent that from happening twice. Not a system for comfort, a system for correction. Every time you replay an embarrassing memory, you are not being punished for no reason. You are being drilled. Your brain is running the tape again and again, trying to extract a lesson so specific and so deeply encoded that you will never make that exact mistake again. It feels like torment. It was designed as training. But here is where it goes wrong in the modern world. Nolan Hoeksema, a psychologist who spent much of her career studying this exact pattern, gave it a name: rumination. She found that some people process a difficult moment, extract whatever lesson exists, and let it go. Others get stuck in a loop, replaying the event without ever reaching resolution, and that loop does not train them. It just wears them down. The mechanism that was supposed to protect you from making a 200,000-year-old survival mistake in a village of 100 people is now firing at full strength over a comment you made in a Zoom meeting that literally no one else remembers. And that is the second piece of this puzzle. You assume everyone remembers. You assume the room is still thinking about it. But there is a name for that assumption too. The psychologist Thomas Jilovich ran a study where he had participants wear an embarrassing t-shirt into a room of strangers, then asked them to estimate how many people had noticed. The participants guessed nearly half the room. In reality, it was closer to 1 in 4, and even that group forgot about it almost immediately. Jilovich called this the spotlight effect. You are standing under a spotlight that exists only in your own mind. Everyone else is under their own spotlight, worrying about their own moment, replaying their own mistake at 2 a.m. Nobody has the spare attention to permanently archive yours. So why 2 a.m. specifically? Why not at noon when you are distracted by traffic and deadlines and other people's voices? Because at 2 a.m. the noise stops. During the day your brain is occupied with input. It has no free processing time. But at night, when the body is still and the senses go quiet, the brain does not simply shut off. It uses that stillness to sort through unfinished business. This is part of what researchers observe during the consolidation phase of memory, the period when the brain decides what gets filed away as long-term and what gets released. An unresolved social wound, according to the logic of the Zeigarnik effect, gets flagged as unfinished. An unfinished business gets pulled to the front of the queue the moment there is nothing else competing for your attention. The silence does not create the memory. It simply removes everything that was previously drowning it out. There is something almost humbling in this. The version of you lying awake at 2 a.m., cringing at something from years ago, is not weak. That version of you is running an ancient, once life-saving protocol on hardware that no longer matches the environment it was built for. You are not broken. You are outdated. The tribal alarm system built for a village of 150 people is still installed, still fully operational, still convinced that a raised eyebrow from a stranger in 2019 might get you exiled from the group. Consider what this means about your own memory. If you ask the people around you to list the moments they consider your most embarrassing failures, most of them could not do it. Not because they are being kind, because they were never running the tape in the first place. Your most humiliating memory is very likely the least remembered moment of your entire life, to everyone except you. Meanwhile, you are the only person on earth still holding the reel. This does not mean the discomfort is meaningless. Embarrassment does serve a function. It teaches. It calibrates. It is one of the reasons humans learn social behavior faster than almost any other species, because the emotional cost of a misstep is high enough to make sure you do not repeat it. The problem is not the mechanism. The problem is the loop that never resolves, the tape that keeps playing long after the lesson has already been extracted. Once you have learned not to repeat a mistake, more replays do not add more learning. They just add more suffering with no additional benefit, exactly the way Nolan Hoeksema's research on rumination describes. So the next time it happens, the next time you are lying in bed and that memory surfaces uninvited, you can recognize it for what it is. Not proof that you are foolish. Not evidence that everyone secretly remembers. Just an ancient alarm system, still wired for a tribe of 150 people, misfiring in a world of 8 billion strangers who are mostly thinking about themselves. The tape is not being played by the world. It is being played by a brain that has not yet realized the tribe moved on a long time ago. It's 2 a.m. You are lying in bed, and this time when the memory arrives, you know exactly what it is, not a verdict, just an old alarm still ringing long after the danger has already passed.